American time. Okay. And we're live. Whenever you're ready.
Sorry about that. So there we were, Officer Eli, Jimmy, and myself, climbing up the ladder into the Firewatch Tower. We demorphed because Eli had informed us that we had almost passed our 2 hour time limit as red shouldered hawks, and we walked the relatively short distance to the tower. Inside, we discovered the badly burned bodies of Franklin and John, two of our fellow science students who were on the bus with most of us sorry with most of us with most of Miss Walter's class when shit, where the hell am I? Oh, class when the Kelford Scout ship opened fire. Eli removed his own zipocyte band and trapped it as he had done before. The chrome The crone ring duplicated, and he'd put one of them back on his arm. He took the other carefully and slid it onto John's left wrist, which was slightly less burned than his right. Like before, Eli was dying. A red light began to flash. Eli passed it. Eli held his breath, and we waited.
All right. So you guys are in the watchtower, similar to how Eli was had been dying before. You guys press this button on the zipocyte band. The other zipocyte band that was originally on John is badly damaged, so basically had to be replaced. And you're waiting, you're watching to see what happens. Um, After a few moments, you see John begin to bristle with gray fur, and a few moments later, he begins to shrink. It seems, at least on the outside, that he is morphing into a squirrel. Meanwhile, you will notice that Franklin, who does not have the morphing ability, is covered sporadically over the more badly damaged areas of his body with Kelbrid technology, cybernetics, things of that nature. You can even see some um, of his veins are pumping with the chrome nanites that you have seen in other Kelbrids. Um, and Eli says, "Don't worry about the Kelbrid technology. We'll be able to get it back out of him. I've reprogrammed it with some help. We can't take Franklin to the hospital because the Kelbrid will find us and they'll know that we know about the alien invasion. So it's best that we just, unfortunately for Franklin and John's parents and family, they're going to have to just assume that they're dead. It's better than actually being dead." Um, and after that, he kind of bends over and checks on the devices on Franklin. And then he kind of sighs and he says, "Well, Franklin's survivability is about 50-50." And now at this point, John has become a squirrel and is just running around the tower in his typical squirrel crazed mindset. Um, what do you guys want to do, if anything?
I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna go outside and try to find some firewood.
Okay, so you begin to climb down towards into the forest so you could find some firewood. It is, I will also just let you know, it's a little bit before 3 p.m. at this point in the game. um,
Right. This is my way of taking a cigarette break
okay.
because of my voice.
Yep, that fair enough. All right, so you climb down to go do that. And what about Jimmy? Does Jimmy go with him, or does Jimmy stay in the Firewatch tower with Eli and the injured?
Jimmy's staying in the tower and is basically doing watch.
Okay. Um, we're gonna jump to while you guys are doing that. We're gonna jump to Marco, since last game Marco was at his house with his mother Selena. Which, by the way, I had to change the name because both of your characters have the same name as the actual character in the books, so I had to change Marco's mother's name. Otherwise, it would have been the other Marco's mother's name would have been the same, so I changed that. But so yeah, Selena's
How
basically
coincidental.
yeah, totally accidental. Selena is in mourning, much like Marco, I assume. Um, Basically, Selena is, and your by the way, your siblings have not arrived yet. They're coming from various locations, but they will be there. She's basically just beside herself. She's trying to make sure that you're okay in the meantime, but also just kind of taking her own time to mourn quietly and alone. Basically, the one thing that you would know because your Marco did have to go through the interrogation the day before is that the police have told everybody that Gabriel as well as anyone else who's missing died in the sinkhole that claimed to the bus, which obviously you know is not true. So if and they also say that the body, Gabriel's body, was found there, which is also interesting because they have not released the body. They have not basically given the body to you. They have not let you view it or any. They haven't mentioned that at all. They basically just said, "Yeah, we found the body," but they haven't told you where it is or anything like that. Um, but what your mom says, what Selena has been saying this whole time, for several hours, is that it's just unbelievable that all of this has happened. She basically doesn't believe that Gabriel died the way he did, and she's like, there must be another way. The police wouldn't tell us anything. They said it's all confidential and so strange. Why would it be confidential? It doesn't make any sense. I just want answers. And then she looks, this is one of her few times where she's come to you when she's not in her kind of isolated. And she says, Marco, is there anything else that you can tell me about that situation out there that just might help me move on and get closure from this?
Oh, I believe the whole sinkhole thing's he was a mess. A total mess, to be frank. Especially it was a sorry, my out of character, my brain is kind of farting, so I'm just trying to think of something.
That's okay.
You know?
So after you say that, and then Selena kind of is Marco in his bedroom at the moment?
Yeah, and he's just casual. He's just having the snake on him.
Yeah. So she kind of slumps down, sits on your bed, and just starts bawling her eyes out, and she just say, "I don't believe it. There must be something else going on." Um, and then that's when the doorbell rings, and after the doorbell, you hear some knocking, maybe like a second later before anyone's able to respond to it, and then a couple seconds later, you hear the door open and you hear your brother Arthur's voice say, "Mom, Marco, where are you guys at?"
Upstairs. Um, Lynn, you have this habit of always showing up like that.
All right, we're coming up, and I got Michael here too.
Hmm.
Ugh, this is weird. Sorry, my roll 20 is acting weird, so let me hopefully try to get back in and. But so yeah, Michael and Arthur, the twins, the 19-year-old twins, walk up. Um, these individuals, your brothers, are, I believe. Uh, so yeah, I don't think you gave me their occupation, so I randomized it. Um, One of them is a pastor, I believe, and the other, I actually have pictures of them for you to view. Um, in in the folder Marco's Family NPCs. Um, So one's a pastor, the other, and they're twins, of course. What was the other? I wrote it somewhere, but I don't remember what it is. Either way, they walk upstairs to see you guys in the bedroom. See their mother bawling. Their mother, your Selena, gets up and walks to and hugs them both, and they look to you, of course, and they's like, and Michael says, Marco, what happened out there? Tell us everything.
Well, to start, there's that sinkhole happened. It was it was violent almost. One moment we were on our way to where we were supposed to be, but then either it was some kind of cave system we've never encountered before, but in that moment it just cracked apart and just they were all thrown in there like mashed potatoes, you know?
Michael just nods as he's looking at you. And he doesn't say anything, but Arthur, he says, "Oh, that must have been terrible." And I heard Miss Walters, your science teacher, died as well.
Yes.
And the bus
Right.
driver.
Stalagmites. There was a lot of stalagmites.
Michael kind of narrows his eyes at you when you say that. Um, and shit. Mac, you have been trying to contact Marco for the last several hours, just sending him messages like, "Hey, are you okay?" All that kind of good stuff. Of course, Marco has been too preoccupied, with his family to actually respond. Does Marco want to take the opportunity to respond, or no?
Hold on, give me a second.
It doesn't have to be right this second. It can be like in a few minutes after you've talked to your brothers and everything like that.
Yeah, I guess I'll try and finally get back into contact after lots of radio silence.
Okay. So about 15 minutes later, after pleasantries, quote unquote, your mom, Selena, goes back downstairs with their two brothers, kind of leaves you upstairs, and she's going down there to talk with them. And you can hear her, as she's going downstairs, you can hear her tell Michael and Arthur, like, I just don't know if I believe this story that they're telling. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, National Forest, I know there's sinkholes out there, but then what does that, the bus was nowhere near, and also there was an explosion. I hear at the wildlife center. It just doesn't make any sense. And then they go downstairs and you can't hear anymore. And then you start responding. What is your message back to Alex?
I'm available. What is it?
Alex or Mac? Hopefully Mac didn't fall asleep again.
No, I didn't. He goes, "You okay?"
Would be better.
If you need to talk, I'm here.
I mean, aside from being bombarded with a lot of questions.
I've been avoiding all the questions. Yeah. Talking my way out of it.
I mean, I was trying to recite the brief synopsis without really much. Frankly, I do admire my own brain sometimes, being able to just wipe things out very quickly.
Sorry,
Erase it over the whiteboard.
I forgot to ask, how's Uno?
Oh, she's just doing a lot. She's doing well.
So, yeah, I thought to ask about you guys. Might be getting a cat.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Alex. Yeah, I might be getting a cat.
Oh,
Might.
that's good. Good. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. I just thought to give you the heads up. Rin.
Hopefully the cat doesn't have toxoplasma Gandhi.
Yeah.
Toxoplasma Gandhi. Toxoplasmosis. Potentially, you could develop schizophrenia. You could push to be suicidal.
That's when your sister Carla walks. That's when your
Cute and
sister.
a fluffy.
Carla walks in. Marco, and she says, uh, "Did you say something about suicide? Are you okay, Marco? Marco, I'm so sorry." And she walks over to give you a hug.
What? Yeah, no, it's fine. I was talking. It was
Oh,
He was just
phone.
giving my friend advice about feline.
Oh, okay. But are you okay though? I just want to make sure everything's. I mean, I know we're not okay because of Dad, but like, you're okay, right? Um,
I could be better, but I could be worse. So, remember what that one show said? Not great, not terrible. It's
no.
only 3.6 Rottingen.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be downstairs getting ready for dinner if you want to join us. It's up to you.
I'll join later.
Okay. She gives you a smile and then pats you on the back and walks out.
So yes, make sure your feline does not have any infection with toxoplasmosis.
Yep. Your sister really thinks you're about to commit suicide. I would seriously reach the, I would seriously reach through the phone and bitch slap y'all.
You honestly think I am that stupid? To actually even contemplate that? Is it like it's
No.
the most retarded thing a person could do?
Yeah, I know.
It's for brainless retards who would most likely just be absolute wastes of oxygen.
Exactly. Anyway, if you, I reckon you should get something to eat, and please don't be doing something stupid.
Oh, I mean, I guarantee it, but I can try. Maybe. Besides, better to be meticulous than just rush it without any. You're going to make fun of me for just saying rush in, are you?
No, I'm not.
I would.
Come on. Well, gets as I was trying to say, I'll try.
Okay. Yeah, go and get something to eat. Yeah, have some fun. Try and cheer yourself up.
Yeah. Well,
Watch a funny movie.
спасибо. До свидания.
Talk to you whenever you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Alright, so back with Eli, Jimmy, and Ben. Ben, you are in the forest picking up sticks or something, but really you're smoking cigarettes. Yeah, so where exactly are you? Like, are you just walking around in the general vicinity of the watchtower? Are you heading in the direction of the cabin, or are you just kind of more or less staying in the same spot?
Uh, I'm more or less staying in the same spot, like underneath the watchtower, so they like peer over and see me smoking. They might smell it, but
Okay. Um, okay. So you're just standing down there smoking, pretending to do what you do, pretending to pick up wood, or not at all. And you just get the sense, a feeling, um, that you're being, not necessarily that you're being watched, although that's definitely what it feels like, but you get the feeling that there's somebody else in the woods besides yourself. Um, I'll let you think on that for a moment. Back up in the watchtower, Jimmy, the squirrel is trying to run up your leg. Eli briefly tried to grab it, to catch it, to catch John before he, can do anything, especially before he can escape. But he hasn't had much luck, and now the squirrel is just running towards your leg, and yeah, basically trying to climb up your. By the way, what kind of pants? I guess he would be wearing. Well, what kind of pants with the Zipposite band? He's able to wear normal pants. So what would he be wearing?
What, Jimmy just wears jeans.
Okay, so yeah, it's trying to climb up your jeans. What do you do? Do you try to kick him off? Do you try to grab him? What do you do?
It's like how close he is. How close he is to pant leg.
He's like an inch away. Like he's literally about to pounce onto your leg.
Like I just grab him as he like almost reaches the pant. Like if he's on it, then I'll grapple him as they're against the pant leg.
Okay, so you grab him, and Eli says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Careful, careful! I think he's still in the squirrel mind. I don't think he knows what he's doing." And you hear, and then Eli says, "John, John, calm down. Just get control of the squirrel mind." Um, and After a few seconds of you holding the squirrel, at first the squirrel's like trying to scratch your hands up a bit. I mean, it's squirrel claws are pretty sharp, but they're also kind of small, so it's, you've been scratched by a cat, and it's basically like that, but they're just like clawing at your hands. And then he stops for a moment, and he goes, "Whoa, I think you can put me down now."
All right.
All right, so he is going to start to potentially demorph, but um, Eli turns to you as he's, in the corner demorphing, and he says, "All right, Jimmy, we got to go find Ben and check out the cabin. Franklin isn't. There's nothing we can do. Much more we can do with Franklin." He turns to John as he's halfway through, and he says, "John, just stay up here with Franklin. We'll come back and check on him after we handle the cabin." And then Eli begins climbing down the ladder. Let's see. Um, Eli gets to the bottom of the ladder, sees Ben smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Really, Ben? Come on."
what do you expect? We're getting chased by aliens, man. I stopped my cigarette.
He just shakes his head.
You might want to know. I feel like I'm being watched, man.
And as Jimmy, as you get down towards the ground, you also get that sensation like there is some kind of presence in the forest that is got you guys in its crosshairs, so to speak. But Eli looks around. And he's like, "I don't feel any different than normal. But let's check out the cabin, and we'll go from there. Maybe it's something to do with that."
I just have the feeling we're going to be stalked. I don't know. Maybe we should try to see if we can find anything moving around before we start going. I feel a whole hell of a lot better if we did that.
He nods. All right. One of you should go red shoulder hawk again, and just look around, see if the hawk's senses are a lot better than humans, and the other two will go in the cabin. So who wants to do that?
I guess it's going to be me. Yeah, I'm going to try to Try to at least.
Damn it! I clicked the wrong button.
Jimmy's still unsure.
All right. So let's see. Let me get back on the roll 20. I keep accidentally leaving the roll 20. All right. So let's see. Where's your character sheet?
Would it be control and security?
It'll be for the bird. It's control and con. You may use your focus or your focus of composure for the morph. It's difficulty of 1. So go ahead and make your first roll, and they're gonna stay. I think Eli and Jimmy probably gonna wait until you finish the morph. That way, nobody's separated for too long. And then after you're finished morphing, they'll head. Ooh, yeah. You don't even start the morph. Also, what is that, Alex? That's not Ben. That's Alex. What is that? Or am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. All right. Sorry. Roll 20 is
Nope,
acting up.
completely failed.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't even start the morph. He's like, he puts his hand on your shoulder. He's like, "Listen, Ben. I think that cigarette's getting to your head, but just concentrate, focus, and it'll be okay. Like, just try to block everything out from your mind except for the red-shouldered hawk." And then he takes a step back and waits for you to try again.
I can still use composure.
Yes. All right. So this time you do begin to morph. Roll a d6 so that we can determine what is the first part of you that changes. It's going to be 1 is the top of your head, 6 is your feet. Okay, so that's going to be your legs. Basically your legs become like brownish, yellowish, almost kind of scaly like a bird, and then talons begin to rip out of your feet. All right, now go ahead and roll one more time. Well, it's going to be more than one more time, but roll again. No, not that. The actual control and con roll to morph, to continue the morph.
All right.
We'll use that for the next thing, though.
Can I still use composure, or
Yep.
is there a limit?
No, there's no limit to focuses. You always use them when they apply. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, nice. So, by the way, where were you guys at on momentum last game? Let me see. Oh, you ended it with 8. So I'm gonna say you still have 8 momentum. However, I'm just gonna say that means that you're morphing quicker, so that you can get through it faster. And you basically are now almost completely finished morphing into the red-tailed hawk. You still got to roll one more time to gain control of the mind. It's a difficulty of 1, control and con.
Can I give you 2 momentum to do that?
Do you want to give me threat or spend momentum?
Spend momentum.
Okay, then yes. So you guys are down to 6 momentum, and you get 4. So you'll have 4 dice to spend, because it's good. You don't want to go eating bugs or worms or rats like other certain red-shouldered hawks that we could mention. Nice. All right, so you get your 2 momentum back, so you're 8 momentum, and you just easily master the mind and take off into the air. And then at that point, Eli kind of gestures for Jimmy and towards the cabin, and he actually, as he's walking, Eli is going to begin to morph as well, and then he looks to you and Jimmy, and he says, I couldn't find Corvon or Deb or Layla. Hopefully they're still out there somewhere. In all likelihood, they're either dead or captured. If they are captured, the Calbird can use the technology to retrieve our identities from their minds. So I guess it'd be better for us if they were dead rather than taken by the Calbird. Probably better for them too, honestly. But as he's saying that, he is going to morph, and then well, let's see how he where is it? Yeah, there it is. Let's see how it goes first. So it's difficulty 1. All you begin to see as he's walking, two eyes appear, but they don't appear like two eyes appear on the top of his head, coming out of his hair, but they don't like a normal Andalite's eyes. They don't come straight out on the stalks. It's just the eyes on top of his head, and you can see as he's walking, they kind of swivel around like they're looking, and yeah. So, gonna as you guys are moving towards the cabin, and Ben is up in the air. We're gonna jump back to Alex. Alex, you have
Yep.
just got off the phone, and you're still in your house. With all your siblings, and your parents.
Yep.
What's Alex doing now?
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm gonna do something.
Run downstairs and see what's going on downstairs.
Okay. It's 3:30 roughly. Your father, who is, I believe you said, a sheriff's deputy,
Yep.
named Jacob.
Yep.
He is sitting at a table, just eating, not eating, drinking coffee. And your mom, Lucy, is sitting next to him, looking at paperwork. They seem to be just going about their normal business. Your siblings are off in the corner arguing about something in the living room.
Okay. Arguing as per usual. He goes and walks towards the door, see if he can open it without drawing any attention.
Ooh, that's definitely gonna be a roll. Alright, so instead of making this a contested roll, which is what it normally is, because I'd have to do it for all 7 to 8 family members. I'm just gonna say it's a difficulty of 2, and it's gonna be presence and security. Just out of curiosity, where's he going?
Going out to the back.
The backyard?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming we've got a trampoline or something out there to...
Sure. We'll say that. Let me know when you roll.
rolled.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know what I got.
Wow. Alright. So instead of doing bonus momentum, I am going to give people individual momentum. So let me grab that. Where is it? There it is. Alright, so you have one bonus momentum that you can use. You successfully get out and into the backyard without anybody noticing. You have a trampoline. If you want to say you have a pool, you can have a pool. Although it's January, so it's probably too cold for that.
We got a pool in the backyard, but it's probably most likely covered up, and he's gonna just go and jump on the trampoline.
Okay. After actually, after about 10-15 minutes of just jumping, you see a face in the bushes. Looks like this. But it's only for like half a second, and then she disappears into the foliage.
And fall off the trampoline.
Okay.
I accidentally just roll into the right position where I fall through the hole that you have to climb through for one of the trampolines with the safety net and that.
You have a safety net on your trampoline?
Oh, there are trampolines that have safety nets these days. Parents usually buy them.
Must be an Australian thing.
Nope, I have one in my backyard.
Oh,
See?
okay. See, you know how I learned not to fall off a trampoline? By breaking my arm. I never fell off again. No, I'm just kidding. I never actually did that. But that's how our parents always taught us things.
Basically, I got taught how to not land on the springs
Ooh, yeah, those are painful.
hard way. Yeah. So he would be screaming. He would scream, then fall off the trampoline.
So I'm gonna say obviously your dad is probably the first one out because he's a cop. A lot of dad cops in this game. He runs out. He's like, Alex, what is it? What's going on? Are you okay?
I saw somebody. Bushes right over there.
You saw somebody. He just looks around. Get back in the house. Come on. And he walks back, expecting you to follow him. Do you follow him?
Did I get in? Yeah. Did I get injured or
Nah. Because
gets up and
even if you did get injured, you could just morph out of it, so it's not that big of a deal. Like, I would only make you roll for something like that if it was like a bad injury.
Yeah.
Alright. So you get back in. Is Marco back?
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Okay. So let's see. Your parents. Oops, wrong. Roll 20. There it is. Your siblings and your mother, Selena, are downstairs talking. What is Marco doing? Does he go downstairs eventually, or does he stay in his room for as long as possible?
Eventually, finally comes down.
Okay. And they look. Selena, your Marco's mother, looks over to you and says, "Honey, come sit down, and we're gonna get ready to make some dinner. Hey, if you want to invite your friends over, the ones that were on the bus with you," and she kind of looks down and tries not to like burst into tears when she says that. She says, "If you want to invite them over for dinner, you can. If that makes you feel better. Sorry, I know I don't know what I'm just blabbering, I guess." And she goes back to like stirring a pot. What was that, Nostra? I heard you say something.
It's fine.
She nods. Okay, if you're sure. Carla kind of looks at you, kind of obviously worried. Michael is. He doesn't actually look at you that often, but when he does, he looks at you more like kind of like he's annoyed or suspicious of something. Arthur looks at you, but doesn't really express either annoyance or. I mean, he is sympathetic and he does seem to care, but it's not as much as like Carla, who's like practically fawning over you, like sits next to you at the dinner table, puts her hand on your back and all that stuff. So, yeah. But until then, Selena just continues making dinner with the others assisting every now and again. What does Marco do before dinner, if anything?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I've seen those trampolines. I forgot. I forgot about them.
Those were my childhood, to be honest.
It looks like you could just jump right over that net though.
Oh hell yeah! A double bounce will get a kid right over that fucking thing.
Yeah, even dogs can climb over.
I remember a kid snapping his neck over it.
Oh man. All right. Well,
that's why they're inward now.
Oh yeah, that makes
they
sense.
used to be straight up, but now they're inward now. That's like a flaw. Like it will hang somebody if you get wrapped up in it for sure. But
right. All right. So if Nostra, if you don't know exactly what you want to do just yet, we'll jump back to Eli, Jimmy, and Ben. Uh, Ben, give me a perception check. This is going to be insight and con. The difficulty is going to be 1. You get an extra d20 because you have the bird vision, and you can re-roll a single d20 if you need to. So it's a total of 3 d20 that you'll be rolling, but you only need one of them to succeed, to be able to see or hear or smell anything of use or of importance.
All right. And perception would be my
Yep,
focus used.
yep, absolutely. Ooh, you're going to want to re-roll that. All right, so you got a success, and that's all you needed. Other than the basic like animals and stuff that you find in the woods, and of course the cabin, which you know is there's a Kelbrid, at least one Kelbrid in there, and of course you see and hear Ben and or not Ben, Jimmy and Eli. You're not detecting anything out of the ordinary besides that. Everything otherwise seems normal. It seems like this quote unquote sixth sense that you have that someone's been watching you is not something physical, not something that would be a physical threat, more of like a metaphysical threat, if that makes any sense. But you don't physically see anything, so yeah.
Is it all possible if I can backtrack to where I once was and try to see if I can see anything later?
I mean,
Kind of like swoop behind and try to scan again.
the closest, like even if you go all the way back to where the quote unquote accident happened, at the explosion site.
Oh no, I'm talking about the fire tower.
Yeah, there's nothing there besides John and Franklin. You don't see or sense anything out of the ordinary there. Um, you still get that feeling like there's something not right, but physically, like visually and auditorially, you cannot figure out what it is for the life of you. You know that there's not anything, like there's not even any wolves in your location of the forest, no coyotes, nothing that's going to be a threat, no bears, but you still just have this feeling like there's something off and you're not sure what it is.
I see.
Eli and Jimmy gets to the cabin. Eli's Andalite eye stalks recede back into his head. The whole time he was walking, he was looking around without making it seem like he was looking around. But they go back into his head, and he opens the door. Get inside the cabin. You see you find let me put the picture back because I don't think you were there for that. So yeah, on your UI, there's a picture of the Kelbrid, who is lying on basically an old, dirty, filthy, ripped up mattress, and she is one of her arms, which was severed, it seems to be kind of coming back together, with the help of some nanites and cybernetics, and Eli is walking around checking entrances, checking windows, looking at this Kelbrid alien that to see how she's doing. What does Jimmy want to do?
So I just check to see if they need anything.
Okay. Roll let's see, do an insight and security to see if basically just a general perception check. Difficulty is going to be 3. So you need 3 successes. You're going to have 2 dice. So if you want to spend a momentum, you guys have plenty of momentum to get an extra dice or more than 1 extra dice you may.
Security. Task roll of 3. I will spend the momentum.
No, task roll of 2. Task roll of
Okay.
3 if you want to spend a momentum.
Alright, task roll 3. I
Yep.
want to spend the momentum.
Okay, fair enough.
It's insight security. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, there it goes.
Let's see if you have anything that can reroll complications. Actually, you do have. Hold on, let me look at your character sheet real quick. You do have. What does this say? I'm gonna make it bigger so I can actually read it. Oh wait, no, this is childhood insight. That's the wrong one. But I remember that there is, I believe, untapped potential that allows
Yep.
you to re-roll. If I remember correctly, I gotta make sure that I read it right. All right. Whenever you succeed at a task for which you bought one or more additional dice, which you did, with either momentum or threat, they may re-roll 1d6. The character receives a bonus momentum equal to the roll and adds 1 point to threat. So go ahead and roll a d6. If you get a 1 or a 2, then you get that momentum. And that and momentum just to you. Actually, no, 7. Yeah. So depending if
Just
you get
roll a 1d6.
Yep, 1d6, and if you get 1 momentum, it goes to the group pool. If you get 2, then 1 will go to the group pool and 1 will go to you, because we're at 7 now. Oh, so it says 5 and a 6 would be an effect. So let's see. They may reroll a d6 character receives and adds 1 point of threat if an effect is rolled. So that's an effect. A 5 and a 6 is an effect, so I get a point of threat. Let's see. So that brings me up to. Okay, just had to make sure, because I will be using this threat momentarily. So now, if you want, because you did get a complication, you rolled a 20. If you want, you can spend 2 momentum to get rid of it, to just negate that complication. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you guys are at 5 momentum, but you don't have a complication. So you look around, you don't really notice anything other than the fact that this is a really dungy, or a really filthy and rundown, abandoned cabin. And Eli is just concerned with the Kelbrid operative that's lying there, and then I'm gonna say both you and Ben, because Ben, you are in Hawk Morph, which means you just have amazing senses. Both of you hear something fall in below the floor, like something got knocked over. So immediately the first thought is, okay, there must be a cellar or something beneath this building. Which is weird because the cabin is small, so small that there really shouldn't really be much of a cellar or a basement of any kind. It's basically like a 1-room cabin, very small, probably like 20 feet by 20 feet. But you do hear that. I'll ask Jimmy, since you're closer, do you want to do anything to react to that, or just continue on acting like you didn't hear anything?
I'll react.
Okay. What do you do?
Like I rush to the. I will do like head towards the sound.
Okay. As you move towards the sound, Eli kind of straightens up, and he says, he puts his finger up. He says, "If just one moment, Jimmy, before you go rushing off to investigate that. So I may have told you, may have not. I may have forgotten. I don't remember that I did capture a couple other Kelbrid operatives, and I have detained them below. And so I will now go to Ben. Ben, I will also say, Ben, you're close enough. You can even hear Eli telling Jimmy that. What does Ben do in his Hawk morph?
I'm gonna go to where they are, and I'm gonna try to demorph.
Okay. Roll a control and con, difficulty of 1. And as you enter and begin demorphing, Eli sighs. He says, "Okay, look, I'll take you down there to if you want. You can stay up here also, but if you want to see what we have down there, then I need at least one of you to morph gorilla, because if these things get out of containment, then they're very dangerous. I'm gonna need some backup." And as he says that, you can see like a a tail begin to extend out of Eli, and like a sharp blade begin growing on that tail, and he begins growing blue fur and just begins to morph him into his Andalite body.
That's why I demorphed. I figured there was danger.
Okay. Do you say that to them, or do you say that to us, or do you just are you just
Yeah, I say that to everybody as I'm demorphing because I got
okay?
it.
All right. So yeah, you're definitely focused on demorphing. I'll say that you just need to roll one more time to fully demorph out of the bird morph, and then you'll have to roll. Well, you don't have to roll to regain, your control of your human brain, because that's your human brain. But you do have to roll one more time to fully demorph. Ooh. So we're at the
Ooh,
moment,
bruise.
yeah, you're about halfway through demorphing, and yeah, no go. So Jimmy, do you want to take on the gorilla morph as well, or
Yeah, that's security precaution. Yeah, let's go gorilla.
all right? So Eli will remind you both as you're go ahead and roll one more time for Ben, but he will remind you guys, like, you guys haven't morphed gorilla that I know of yet, so be careful and
Ooh.
definitely be focused, definitely be determined, hint hint, to to make this to morph this gorilla without causing a lot of damage. And he just looks over to Ben as he's like basically stuck as a red tail hawk, half red tail hawk, half human. um, but yeah, go ahead and if you want to roll for both of you, well, um, for Jimmy, it'll be daring and security, and it'll be a difficulty of 2. So you need 2 successes. You got plenty of momentum.
Security difficulty of 2. Is that on complication range?
Now leave complication range at 1. You just need 2 successes. So if you're confident that you're going to get 2
Okay.
successes with 2 dice, then you're good. You can't focus. Maybe you heard something fall again. Maybe you probably heard somebody shout from in the cellar, and that kind of distracted you. Go ahead and roll again for Ben, Tolly.
Got stuck.
All right.
Yay.
Yep. So you're successfully morphed back to human, and then yep. It looks like trying to remember names. Jimmy, you're still trying to focus. So go ahead and Tolly, roll a security, control and security, difficulty of 2. And you could even see, like, as Eli is kind of morphing into the Andalite body, he begins like backing away from you both, because he's like, I really don't want to be, and if they go crazy, I don't want to be, involved with that. I want to stay far back as possible.
How many momentum do we have still?
5.
I'm trying to look.
Yeah, 5 momentum.
All right, I'm gonna spend one more momentum for an extra die.
Okay. So you're at 4 momentum left. Oh, nice. All right, so you got 4 successes, difficulty of 2, so that brings you back up to 6 momentum. Jimmy, do you want to roll one more time?
I'll cash the momentum to try for 3.
Sure, yeah. That definitely will give you a better shot, a better chance.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Nice.
Nice. Yep. So you get up to 7 momentum, and you begin morphing. I need you both to roll d6s. and that'll be whatever it lands on will be the first thing that begins changing.
Alright, rolling d6.
All right, so Ben, once again, your legs are the first thing to change, and because of this, you kind of fall forward onto your knuckles, and basically hair, like they just bulk up, muscular legs, with black hair and fur just begin sprouting. It looks like Jimmy, your shoulders begin to bulk and beef up, and the black hair begins sprouting all over your arms and torso. And I need you both to roll one more, again, each control or daring and security. Difficulty is still 2. You got plenty of momentum. Y'all probably have talents or something that can help too.
I'll try for 3.
Okay. Nice. So you guys are down to 6 momentum, but you are... Roll a d6 one more time. See what's the next thing that begins changing. Alright, so now your entire torso is gorilla. Back is, silver, because, that's why they're called silverbacks. And you once also begin falling forward onto your arms. You're able to stand up, but you're not. It's harder to stand up than it is to just walk on your, on all fours. And what about you, Tali?
Yeah, I'm still trying to morph. What was the roll again? I'm sorry.
Control and security.
I'll buy an extra die.
Okay. 5 momentum. Ooh.
Ooh.
So yeah, you're still in that same position. You're still in that same position. Let's see. Jimmy, roll one more time, and let's see if you can finish this morph. And also potentially gain control of this new morph, this gorilla's mind, which is honestly my favorite part of the morph, seeing how they react.
Taking another momentum.
Okay, down to 4. You complete the morph. Your head begins to enlarge. Black hair just sprouts all over your face and your head. Fangs begin to extrude out of your jaw, which also begins to enlarge. Your brow begins to crinkle and crack as it reforms, and now you're at the very end of that. You are a silverback gorilla, and you have control over the mind of this gorilla. So Tali, you're up next. Control and security, difficulty 2.
All right, giving you another momentum, and I'm going to roll 3 die.
Okay. Actually, I think we're down to 2. No, yeah, 3 momentum. Ooh.
What the fuck?
You do have really bad luck with this rolling thing. Yeah, you're basically just staying there for right now. Eli's gonna turn to Ben, and then he's gonna look at Jimmy, and he's gonna like scratch his head because he's already finished morphing into Andalite body, and he's gonna think for a second, because he's trying to decide if they should go down there without Ben or wait. He looks back to Scava, who's still lying on the bed, and he's gonna, he's gonna use his direct. Actually, no. Yeah, he's gonna use a direct, which is going to basically give you an extra dice. No, it's basically going to give you an extra success if he succeeds. So I'm gonna roll presence and command, and he's gonna say, "Come on, Ben, we don't have all day." Let's see what happens. Nice. So all you have to do is not fail, and you will succeed in your next roll.
Nice.
Just don't fail and don't get a complication.
Just 1d20 or 2?
You can roll 2. Yeah. I should have rolled 1, actually. Nice. So that's a total of
Good.
4 successes. So I'm gonna. That's 7 moment. Actually, 6 momentum. No, 5 momentum. Man, really bad with math. um, and yeah, you almost finished morphing. Now I just need you to roll to control the mind. Control and security. Can you control the mind of this gorilla? Would be really interesting if you couldn't, and then you guys got into a gorilla fight.
Shh.
Nice. All right, up to 6 momentum. Yep, you also master the gorilla's mind. Your feet kind of become like basically hands and rubbery, and the rest of your body grows fur. The jaws begin to strengthen, and fangs begin to extrude out from your jaws, and your eyes become sunken into your head. And now you're a gorilla, the same a gorilla as Jimmy. And I will also say that although you are in both are in control of the bodies and the mind, you do sense the mind and the instinct of the gorilla, which is basically like, I'm not really concerned about any of you people. I can take care of myself. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of anything really. But also, what the hell? Where am I? And I need to get out of here and go do what I'm meant to do, which is not be in the cabin in the middle of the woods. Um, but otherwise, you definitely have control of these beasts. And Eli basically heads towards where you see like a ratty old filthy carpet, flings up the carpet to reveal a trapdoor, and then pulls on a string. The trapdoor kind of lowers, and then below you can see that a set of kind of, I wouldn't say they're super wide steps, but they're wide enough for you guys to walk down as gorillas. Begin to kind of extend down wooden steps. They're just held up by rope, basically. And then Anjin begins walking down these steps as an Andalite, a four-hooved Andalite, to lead you guys into this cellar. And we're going to jump to Alex and Marco. Which one of you wants to go first? It's 4 o'clock. I don't know what time you guys eat dinner in the real world, but my family eats it at like 4 or 5, so I'm saying that 4 o'clock is dinner time for you guys. So what do you guys want to do? Are you just sitting there eating at your respective families' homes?
I'm just taking my friend's advice of just trying to get something through my system.
Okay. And what about you, Alex?
Be like, when is dinner, Mom?
In a few minutes. You could tell. She's kind of forgotten. She's kind of gotten lost in her work. So she's like, in a few minutes, and then she's like, oh crap. She looks around, and she goes to like the kitchen or the refrigerator. Words. Basically, like pulls out some frozen dinners and throws them into the microwave. But yeah, and your siblings are still like arguing. Ken is trying to convince your siblings that you guys you guys were in the bus, and then all of a sudden you felt the earth come out from under you, and then you woke up in darkness, and you escaped out of the tunnels, and that was it. For some reason, Naya believes him, and she thinks, I mean, I believe she's like 9 or something, but she believes him. The other 2 brothers, one of them is skeptical, the other one is like mildly interested, but not. He doesn't not believe Ken. He just doesn't really care all that much. The brother that is skeptical is no, not Corbin. Javen. Javen is the skeptical one. He seems to think that either Ken is crazy or he has hit his head and doesn't really know what he's saying. So what does Alex want to do, if anything?
Basically, Alex is playing the card. I don't remember anything what happened up in the forest.
Okay. And is Marco still playing that same thing? Because his
Effectively.
okay, yeah, because Selena, his mother, is the main one who's trying to get him to open up. Like, she just cannot accept that her husband has died in the way that they say he has died. Carla, after you guys' mother continues to do that over dinner, Carla kind of breaks down and just kind of rushes outside and stands like on the porch and just watches. Um, just looks around teary-eyed, doesn't really want to think or talk about any of this. After a little bit of all this, your two twin brothers begin arguing back and forth about, you guys' father and how he died. And at one point, Michael, you could tell he doesn't mean it this way. You could tell that he's trying, when he says this, he's trying to stop people from arguing. He's not saying it in a disrespectful way, but he does say at one point, as they're arguing, he says, "Who cares? What does it matter? What does it matter how he died? What does it matter why he went missing? He's gone. Get over it," kind of thing. How does Marco take that?
You kind of cut out there, so I couldn't hear you.
Michael basically, as he's arguing back and forth with Arthur, he says, "What does it matter? Who cares how Dad died? He's dead and he's not coming back." How does Marco take that? Did you hear me better?
Maybe perhaps it was because of foul play. Would you say the exact same thing if, say, any of us figured out what really happened?
When especially after you say foul play, everyone stops talking, everyone stops everything. Carla's still outside on the porch.
Just think about it. There's always the pattern of murders directly towards those of law enforcement, and who's to say that the worst might have happened to him, to our dad as well?
As soon as you said the first thing you said, everyone stopped, like, dead silence, and they just stared at you. Selena kind of moves away from, well, I guess by now you guys would be eating dinner, so she kind of shuffles closer to you, and she says, "You know something, don't you? Tell me, please, anything." And Michael says, "This is ridiculous," and he's like, "I'm leaving," and he gets up to leave. Arthur also kind of moves closer to you and says, "Why would you assume wrongdoing? I thought it was all an accident. Are you telling us that there's something else going on out there?"
Because the way you think for an accident, it just doesn't right. It's, even if my brain is trying to cover it all up, but it was too planned. It was probably somebody who wanted something out of it all.
What is it, Mom? Okay, sorry, Lynn. Sorry, got distracted.
It's all good. They just nod. Okay. They look back and forth between each other, Selena and Arthur. And strangely enough, Arthur says, "Mom, can I talk to you for a moment?" And the two of them leave you alone at the table. We're going to jump back to the cabin in the woods.
Reference.
Yes. Well, that's the name of this episode. So, Eli slash Anjin, Ben, and Jimmy in Gorilla Morphs descend the stairs into the cellar. You find. I don't think I actually have a cellar picture. I wish I did. Or maybe I do. No, I don't. But you do find. Two. Well, you do. You find two Kelbrid. I will put their pictures. You probably will not recognize them just off the top of your head because there has been so much going on. But don't worry, I will elaborate on who they are. Let me guess. I put him in the dead section because I thought he was dead. Yay! All right. You find this guy who was, if you remember correctly, the Kelbrid that Gabriel and Eli went to go kill to make sure that he couldn't report back who you guys were. He's barely alive. He's in a steel cage. He is badly damaged. You could tell Blade, like almost every inch of his body has been cut with an Andalite tail blade. His eyes are glowing blue, but only slightly. You can guess that he's probably either near unconsciousness or wishes he was unconscious, but he is not moving. He is out. He's not unconscious, but he is not moving, and he is out of it in the sense that he isn't able to do anything at the moment. The second individual that you find is I don't know why it's playing that music, but okay. The second individual you find is a badly injured and partially destroyed Kelbrid of Gabriel, the canine officer. And he is chained to a wall, and his hands end in stumps that have been cauterized, and they are unable to grow back because, as you guys have seen, Kelbrid cybernetics allows for them to basically grow weapons out of their armor. Well, he ain't growing no weapons out of his half Kelbrid body. You can see that only part of his face and maybe a few patches of his body still remain as Gabriel, or as the canine officer uniform, but most of it is badly damaged Kelbrid armor. How does I'll start with Ben, since you know both of these people more, I think. Well, no, you don't. I think both Jimmy and Ben saw them both at the same time. But we'll start with Ben. How does Ben react to seeing them in this condition?
Out of character, real quick. Like, are they friend or foe? Because I don't remember.
They're 100% foe.
Well, in that case, I will simply go over to the nearest one that's chained up, not behind bars, and proceed to bash his brains in with my giant fists.
Okay, but as you're going to do that, somebody steps out from a corner, or I guess it's not so much of a corner as it is a bunch of like debris that has been kind of piled up. Actually, let me put this somewhere. I gotta put this here real quick. There we go. A woman steps out in plain view now, and she says, "Wait!" And she points a weapon at you mainly, but in the general vicinity of everybody. And let me grab her picture. There it is. She's got red hair. She looks to be in her either late 20s, early 30s. And she's got bright green eyes, and she points her weapon. Look, you're pretty sure it's a weapon. It's some kind of futuristic, like, phaser-looking thing. You're not sure what else it could be, but she points it at you and she says, "Wait!" There's valuable information we can get from them. What are you doing?
I back off, and in my mind speak, these are the enemies. I have to kill them.
Eli looks between you and the woman and then Jimmy, and then he looks back and he looks to you and he says, Ben, trust me, we will get to that point soon enough. But right now, she's right. Oh, not that one, God, not that one. We do need to learn all we can before we dispatch them. And
I stand down.
okay. And the woman looks between you and the other gorilla and she says, she lowers her weapon. She says, "Thank you." However, you could tell just based on like her positioning in the room and the fact that she wasn't pointing the weapon at you in a hostile manner. It was more like in a warning kind of manner, but also just her facial expression towards you. Like you get the idea that she's been waiting down here for you guys. She says, make sure I've got the right amount of time. She says, you probably have some questions. Hello, Ben. Hello, Jimmy. You may call me Gemma. I am a member of the alien resistance to the Kelbrid infiltration on Earth. And with that, we're going to jump to Alex and Marco again. Alex, you are remaining quiet, not wanting to let anyone on that something different happened. It's about 4:30 now. Dinner is coming to a close. Even after it's only been microwave, but dinner's still coming to a close. Jacob sighs. He says, "Look, guys, I've got to get to work. I took most of today off so I could be here with you, but still got to go in. There's a lot going on out there, and might be new gang activity. I don't know." He goes over and looks like he puts his hand on your shoulder first. And he says, "Alex, I'm sorry about what happened, really." And he kind of shakes his head like he's almost like he's about to cry, and he just puts his arms around you and he says, "I'm just glad you came back alive."
Stop.
What'd you say, Matt?
He says, "Thanks, Dad."
He kind of chuckles. Well, try to relax. Try not to think about what happened. I'll see you tomorrow morning, I guess.
Yep. And he just keeps on looking outside the closest window to see if there's anyone looking at him.
Roll insight and security. Difficulty 1.
Yes.
Ooh. You don't see anything. You don't see anything suspicious at all.
He's aware that he saw somebody, and he's keeping an eye on.
Okay.
So he gets a message to Marco saying, "Hey,
You said you're sending it to Marco?
yeah." He's sending a message to Marco saying, "Hey, be aware that there may be somebody lurking around."
He gets the message and sends a brief reply like just an okay hand sign emoji.
Yeah. So he's well aware that
And just a way to throw off whoever might be watching in as well.
Yep.
He's gonna just mention like a so a pedophile. So wanted
Yeah.
pedophiles finally here, yes.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those people.
Oh great, white van.
No, likes lurking in the bushes.
Oh, those kinds.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can I interrupt for a second?
Go ahead.
I'm seeing SPN or not SPN. Yeah, Supernatural on the screen instead of Animorphs.
All right, let me check out OBS and everything and make sure everything is operating at normal capacity. Because who knows?
That's breath is so stinky.
It's really funny that we're just throwing them off so that if anyone actually figures out that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you. Also, I checked. It looks like it's the right thing. Maybe you hit the button or something and it took you to Supernatural. I don't know.
I also use the when he runs up to when he leaves his family, he goes up to grab the burner phone and say, "Beware, we may have lurkers around where we live." So Eli is aware. He
Oh, you're telling
so-
Eli too?
yeah.
Okay, well, he can't. He doesn't have access to his phone right now, but eventually he'll.
You'll get the message.
Oh shit, you're right. I put. That's my fault. There we go.
So yeah.
All right. Is there anything that Marco wants to do?
Not really, to be honest. Not to mention, I'm trying to handle my cats right now because if they accidentally get on my computer, they might accidentally turn off or restart my computer. So that's the risk.
Okay. We're gonna jump to Eli and Ben and Jimmy. So Gemma basically says, "Look, we can let's interrogate them," and then Eli turns to both of you and says, "Another thing, I don't want you to tell Marco that his dad has been a Kelbert operative. Apparently, he's been a Kelbert operative for the last 2 years, and so that means they did something with the real Gabriel 2 years ago. We still don't know where he is." So, how do you guys want to handle the interrogation? Or do you just want Gemma and Eli to do it while you guys stand guard and look intimidating?
I want to go over to the one that's chained up to the wall,
Okay.
grab his thumb or pinky, and say, "Talk," in my mind talk.
He doesn't have any hands. They're stumps.
Is there any appendage that I can grab that is not
Probably.
gnarly?
Probably is. He still has feet, so you could probably do that.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab his feet or his foot and say, "Talk."
He looks at you.
There.
Sorry, go ahead.
Never mind, I thought of something really dark. Never mind.
Yep. So he looks up at you and just grins, and he says, in a very like kind of I would definitely a lot more electronic than normal, but you can still like make out what he's saying. He goes, "You can do whatever you want to me. There are thousands of us here, and we will find you, find out who you are, all of you, and we will destroy you all, and this planet will be ours."
I would like to break his fucking leg.
All right. Roll daring security. Difficulty is 1. He is not contesting it because he can't.
Could I use perception in this case because I'm trying to get information?
Um, I mean, not really. Perception is a specific kind of thing. Like, you can roll insight security to see if you can gauge whether or not
I
he's
mean, as a focus, perception as a focus.
well, not to do damage. You can do it if you want to roll insight to see if you can gauge whether or not he's telling the truth or if he knows anything. Um, but just to do damage, I don't think any of your focuses would apply.
All right, I'm just gonna try to break his leg. Maybe he'll talk.
All right. All right. So you guys are up to 7 momentum, and oh, you got to re-roll that because it's well, actually no, you don't. Let me just check something. Okay, it's a 10, so you would have succeeded either way. But yeah, basically you break his leg, and you could tell that there's pain, but he does a remarkable job of like masking his pain. But you could still tell that it's caused him a certain amount of pain. Um, and Jimmy, what do you want to do? Do you want to do anything?
I guess I'll just punch them if they move. I don't know enough about this interrogation stuff.
All right. Well, other than the current, other than Ben's current interaction, neither one of them at the moment. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's what I'll do. So you notice out the corner of your eye, the other Kelbrid actually lunges. Its eyes glow. Before they were very, very dim, and then they glow bright, and then the almost like a zombie, this Kelbrid kind of lurches up back into a standing position, kind of leaning to one side, limping, and he lunges towards the bars towards you. So I'm gonna let you, since you said you're gonna punch anyone that moves, go ahead and roll daring and security to see the damage that you may do. Let's see, where's character sheet? Actually, before you do that, by the way, guys, don't forget that you have character sheets for your specific morph. So there's a silverback in the battle morphs folder. There's the silverback gorilla. Just click on daring and security there. Actually, so for you, your daring is 11. So you would just click on control and security. And let's see what else. He has a bunch of talents. Actually, let's see, what's his fitness? Make that fitness security. He has applied force. So sorry about that, Tali. I completely forgot about their talents. So applied force says your physique is best when you apply size and strength in a fight. When you make a melee attack, you may use fitness instead of daring. In addition, you add 1d to the stress rating of your unarmed attack, or 2d6 if you have fitness or 11 or higher. So basically, what I'm gonna say is, if you succeed in hitting him with fitness and security, I'll let you decide, because of how much damage he already is. He's already pretty damaged. I'll let you decide if you kill him or just knock him out cold. But let me know if you need help finding the silverback gorilla character sheet.
I got it.
Okay.
Fitness, security.
Yep.
And roly poly.
All right. So, yep, you slam him. Tell me how you do it. Do you, how do you hit him?
It's just like a straight arm punch. It's just straight arm punch as much as a gorilla can.
Right.
Just like cracking right against the face.
Right against face. Are you aiming to kill or
Yeah.
just knock him out?
Just knock him flat.
All right. He is out cold, and he will not be getting up anytime this session. Also, Tali, just actually, you know what? I'll do that later. But I need to put the pictures in the character sheet so they're easier to find. But Tali, were you able to find the silverback gorilla character sheet in the battle?
Yeah, I just realized that it was on there. I was
Yeah.
using my character sheet. Why.
Yeah, that's fine. I kept forgetting to tell you guys about, remind you guys, I should say, about the other character sheets. Because even with the Hawks, you guys should have been able to use the Hawk character sheet. I just keep forgetting.
It's chill.
Yeah. All right. So you knock him out, and Gemma steps forward and she says, "Look, we're not going to get much from him this way." And she actually kind of steps between the two of you, looking directly at Eli. It's clear that she's talking to Eli in a way that's different than the way she talks to you. So when she's talking to you, it's kind of like, I would say almost as equals. Like, she's trying to convince you of stuff. She's trying to, persuade you. She's trying to, like, introduce herself to you. Like, just two people interacting like normal. But she's very deferential towards Eli. She almost keeps her head lowered when she talks to him, and she says, "Listen, the remnant could do more. The remnant, if we take these two Kelbrid to the remnant, they will be able to discern what their true intentions are on this planet." And Eli is basically just shakes his head and says, "No, not yet." And then Gemma turns to the two gorillas that she's basically standing between. She says, "The remnant is what we call ourselves now. It's the resistance. It's been around since, in one form or another, since the late 90s, early 2000s. But after all the aliens were banished from Earth in 2004, they had to be more careful. Ultimately, the global underground of thousands were reduced to hundreds and then dozens. Now we're based solely in the mountain range of this state. The rest of us are gone. But if either of you would like to join us, then you'd be more than welcome to. We do have a couple of other morphers with us. It's up to you, of course." And when she makes you guys that offer, Eli looks between the two of you and he says, "Look, obviously I can't, tell you what to do. I mean, we're in the middle of a war, so, as far as I'm concerned, you're practically adults at this point, if not child soldiers, definitely soldiers. But if you're gonna stay with me, I'm going to stay here and fight in this town, and I'm not. The remnant can be good allies, but I am not going back to them. So if you guys decide to go, I will not be going with you." How does Ben and Jimmy react to that?
Jimmy can go first. I'm gonna mull it over a little bit.
Okay.
Jimmy?
You there?
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
I'm sorry, what were we doing? I'm sorry, it cut out.
Basically, Gemma offered you guys, if you wanted to join the resistance, which is based in the mountains of the current state you're in. And Eli said, you're free to go if you want, but I'm not having anything more to do with the resistance, the remnant. I'm going to stay in my small town and continue the fight there. And so you basically, both of you basically have the option, join the remnant, kind of live as like resistance fighter, guerrilla fighters in the mountains, or stay in your small town and basically fight with Eli.
Jimmy's got to move on. There's nothing back there now.
So you're joining the remnant in the mountains?
Yeah.
All right, and Tali, what about Ben?
After I mulled it over just a little bit, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be projecting my voice to her, to the one that's trying to recruit me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say this. If you really want to talk to me later. For now, I'm going back into town-ish.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
So
just...
basically what I mean by that is like I'm going back to the camper.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to... Well, Gemma says you guys don't have to decide now. In fact, if you want to go back to town with Eli and fight there for a while and then come see what we got to offer in the remnant, more than welcome to. You can do that later. That's perfectly fine. I just want you guys to know that you have options. You're not alone. I mean, we don't number as many as we used to, but you're not alone. And we can definitely help each other in the future.
Before I leave, can I have access to the one that's behind the gates?
I mean, depends. What do you want him for?
I just want to break his leg.
Be my guest. And yeah, they unlock the gates. And I won't even make you, since he's unconscious, it's not even a roll. I'll just say that you are able to break his legs if you want to.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I got chased down by this monstrous thing with metal fucking things, and now I'm in a war, so the best thing to do is break their legs. It's not like they're going to be running around anytime soon.
All right. You break his legs, and yeah, he's, like you said, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And Eli says, well, he looks over to Gemma and he says, are the Hork Bajir nearby? And she says, yes, they're a couple of minutes away in the trees, remaining hidden. They just arrived a few moments ago, but they will carry the Kelbrid to the remnant sanctuary in the mountains. And then Eli just nods his Andalite head and then begins demorphing, and he looks towards Jimmy and he says, I wish you the best out in the remnant, out in the mountains. Don't forget the primals are also out there. You'll be probably fighting them more than anything. Other than that, I wish you the best, and don't be a stranger. He kind of chuckles. Did anybody else got anything they want to say before we jump back to Alex and Marco? Take that as a no. So, Marco, Alex, what is Marco up to? Is he trying to spy on his mom and Arthur to see what they're gossiping about?
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
if you want to morph into your wolf form in your bedroom, then
Snake.
you can definitely hear them easily.
What about a snake?
You Hearing with snakes is not the same as with humans.
Fine.
It's more
I'll
like
just...
vibrations. You should know that. You own a
Fine,
snake.
I know.
You just want to morph your snake.
I know. You know what? Fuck it. Wolf mode. It's morphin' time.
All right. Because all momentum it goes away. If you just spend 4 momentum, bringing you down to 3, then I will say that you complete the morph. Because next session it goes back down to 0 anyway. So
Yeah.
all right.
I'll use the momentum.
All right. So you morph into your wolf, and you basically hear your mother and brother Arthur. And your mother is saying that Deb's father, but I'll say it in character. Deb's father was talking about aliens being on this planet long before they even went out, and I'm pretty sure he must have something to do with that. And then Arthur's like, "No, calm down, Mom. It doesn't. It could be aliens, but it's probably not. I mean, the government would not hide something like that from people. Definitely not." So it looks like your mom and at least one of your brothers is kind of suspicious of aliens being on Earth. Whether or not they truly believe it, or whether or not they are, they think it has anything to do with you, is a different story. But they definitely think that it may have something to do with what happened in the forest. And also, your mother says, and I don't believe for a second that Gabriel would be. It just, there's too many inconsistencies. I don't think he died the way they said. Why won't they let us see his body? They should have brought that back to town immediately. So yeah, they're definitely two. They don't seem, if they're Kelbrid, well, they're both not Kelbrid probably, but if one of them is a Kelbrid, then it's, you can't tell which one it is, but both of them probably not. Anything else Marco wants to do before the end of the session?
When I'm done hearing everything that I need to hear, I'll just morph back just to be safe.
Do you have any questions?
No, I have no questions.
Okay. And we'll jump to Alex. Alex, you.
Yep.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
He's keeping a lookout.
He's still looking out. Still looking out.
Yeah, at the backyard.
Okay.
He was out. Check.
Okay.
And he isn't going to be suspicious. He isn't going to be yes to anyone who's seeing him. He'll be looking outside.
You said he's not gonna look suspicious.
He looks like he's suspicious. Looking like
Okay.
looking outside.
All right. Roll another inside security.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
one is.
'cause he-
This one is going to be contested.
Oh, I use my momentum plus one of the group's momentum, so
Sure. Like I said, it's going away next game anyway. But my threat's not. Nice. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, you don't see anything.
he's watching. Does any of his yeah.
What was that? Go ahead.
He's gonna keep the. Gonna just watch from back upstairs and watch from his room, see if any slight movement or not.
All right, I've got to go. So Tali, if you want to read your last narration. I sent it to you.
Sure. Yeah, I see it. The discoveries that we made that day were shocking. I felt like they would change the course of the war and our lives. There is only one thing I know for sure. We must keep the secret. If we don't, the Kelbrid will find us, then the Remnant soon after, and the war for Earth will be all but lost.